welcome to the part 3 of this video. Don't forget, the part 1 and part 2 is already on our page, so please remember to subscribe. Then while you're watching them, if you encounter any difficulty, don't hesitate to drop your difficulty in the comment under the particular part, then I will explain further. Now we are at this stage. Let me unhide everything again. Let me unhide everything. Remember, your Scene Explorer, if it's not coming on its own, you bring it out from there. Now that we're here, we have done everything we need to do at this point. What we need again now to do is to put our parapet. Remember, this is what we are trying to achieve. So the next thing is to put our parapet, that's concrete fascia, if you like. So how do we achieve that? Remember, I told you that this software is flexible and you can do a lot of things through a lot of means. But in this training, I'm just going straight to show you the simplest ones for me. Now, how do we do this? We'll do this with sweep command. If you go here and go to the modifier list, you will see sweep. Let's say you select anything, we'll go here, go to modifier list, then type S on your keyboard for easy location of sweep. You just be checking, this is sweep. So this command, sweep command, is what we need for this our concrete fascia. So what and how do you do the sweep command? First of all, you can go to top view or front view, either of them. Now I want to use just the plan. Now I want to isolate the plan and remove every other thing so that I don't have issue with height. Now you look at this is what we want to achieve. This is what we want to achieve now. Now we look at it. Remember, as I already told you, this software is just garbage in, garbage out. It will only give you what you give it. So it is left for you to know the dimension of your parapet or the pattern you want to follow. Now this is how I draft my parapet pattern. First, you can do that in AutoCAD. You can have your parapet pattern done here and then imported with the whole of this. Then, assuming you didn't do that, this is how you can go about it inside the 3ds Max. I'll go here. I'll go with rectangle. With this rectangle now, I want to show the total length and then the total height of my parapet with this. So normally, as of the height of my parapet, normally I use 300. You can use anything else. It is not fixed. Now, for the width of my parapet, that is the length, extension from the wall, I use 600. That's 2 feet. I normally use this, but in some cases I use 450 here. It's depending on what you want to achieve, the type of parapet you want to have, the height of it, or whatever. So once I have what I need, remember I said 300, let me maintain 450. Now what next do I do? Now I want my parapet. If you look here, we have a 3-step parapet. Let me look for a clearer view. We have this first step, we have this second step, we have this first step, we have this second step, then we have this curved area, then we have this fourth, and then the last step. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then curved area 5. That's 5 steps we have here. So if I look at this should be, say, 2 inches from the wall. This here should be like 2 inches from the wall. Then this height should be like 3 inches. Then this here to 2 inches, this 3 inches, and all. So I go back to my CAD, to my 3ds Max. Now I represent them. Remember, I'm using rectangle to get my measurements. Now I draw, then I go to modify, and then I dimension. 3 inches should be 75 millimeter. Remember, we are working with millimeter, so bring down everything back to millimeter. Now this is it. Now this is my first step on both x axis and then y axis. This is my first step. Now if you look at that drawing, you see that the second step is just a repetition of the first one. Then I repeat the second step. Remember, if the color is not visible to you, you can always change them from here so you see them well. Now I have these two steps already. Now I have these two steps already. The next thing is the curve, but then I don't know the measurement of this curve, so I go on and input the other two steps while I now connect the curve. So how do I do that? I go back here. Now if you look here, you see that the last one has a different height from the rest. Normally in building, this last one is 6 inches. That last step is normally 6 inches. So I can copy this. Now 6 inches, that should be by the length. 6 inches is 150. Remember, 6 inches is 150. So I take this, then I move this to this point. Now the other step under is a repetition of this. If it's not, you do what you want to do. See, you are the architect here, you are in charge. This laptop only give you what you have given it. Now I've achieved this first, second, third and fourth step. Now it is just remaining this curved area. Now how do I do that? How do I achieve that? Now I go back here, create, then I go to arc, because it's arc is what I need at this point. I select arc. I make sure my snap is on. Now I click here. This is how arc works. How you do arc is you click and hold. You go to the first point of the arc, you left click, hold, and then you drag to the last point of the arc, to the last point. Now when you get to the last point, it has snapped it. Then you leave your mouse. Now you just move your mouse up or down. I'm not holding anything again. You just move your mouse up or down to achieve the radius you want. Now remember, when moving this, for example, your snap can be a problem, and at this point you cannot click here. So what you just need to do is to press S on your keyboard. Remember, S is used to toggle. So my snap is now off, so I can now achieve what I want. Once I get it to the place I want it, then I left click, and we are done. Let me do it again. Let me delete this arc and repeat this command so you get it. Now you go to create. Now you go to shapes, then you go to arc. You left click on it. Now make sure your snap is on at this point. Then go to one point, the starting point of your arc. Left click, hold and drag to the end point of your arc. Once you are snapping there already, then you release your mouse. Now you just move your mouse, just move it. It will go with you till you achieve what you think you want to achieve. And while doing that, if snap becomes a problem, let's say you have other things on this screen and it's snapping, then click S on your keyboard to turn snap off while you achieve what you want to achieve. So once you have achieved what you want to achieve, you left click, and that is it. Now I want to make this whiter visible to me. Now how do I bring out my pattern now from this? Now how do I bring out my pattern from this? This is what you do. You go back to line command, make sure your snap is on, then use it to capture all parts of your pattern. Remember, when you come to this, it's capturing this at every point. So you make sure you capture them uniformly. If you are going to two steps, you continue with two. If you're going one, but the closer the points are, then the smoother the curve at the end of the day. Say yes. Now let me move this out so you see what I've achieved now. Now this is my parallel pattern. If you look where you see now Now this is my parapet pattern. So this is how you do it. In case you have something else, you have another pattern, you want to use, you have flat pattern, then this is still the same thing you do. Are you getting me? Now let's assume we have a flat pattern. Let's assume we have a flat pattern. What do you do? What do you do? Already we have, let me copy this. Already we have this, and I want my parapet to be of this height at the end of the day. Now what do? I let me bring in this. Just know exactly what you want to achieve. You can actually sketch them on paper if you want, then before doing it. Now I copy again. Now I copy again. Let's say this is now bigger from my drawing. Let's say this is now bigger from my drawing. Let's say this is by width. Let's say 300, 1 foot. Let's say this is 1 foot by this thing now. Then and then maybe I have this one now. Let's say for example that this is the pattern. This is my parapet pattern now. Let's say that this is my parapet pattern. Now I have this. How do I bring out my pattern itself from this? I just use line and I trace the end points of that my pattern all around, and I join. I move it out. Then this becomes my parapet pattern. Let me make it wide so you see it very well. Now this becomes my parapet pattern gotten from this. Why this is the parapet pattern gotten from this. So this is the first thing you need to do. You need to know what you want to achieve. Get the dimensions of it that you want. Now you come back into here and then you just go on and do what you want to do here. So now what is the next thing to do? We have gotten our sweep profile. Remember I told you that to do this parapet we'll use sweep command, and for us to use sweep command we need a profile, a sweep profile. Now this will serve as our sweep profile. So I can just select this and then name it parapet profile or fascia. Just say fascia. That's the best term to use. Let's say fascia profile. Now this is my fascia profile done. I'll delete this. I don't need them again. I've not gotten what I want from this, so I select this and I delete. Now that I have this, I can now go on and put on my drawing. Now I'm seeing everything. Now what do I need to do again? The next thing I need to do is to select that's my profile. This is my parapet. Where will it go? The point it will go in this drawing. Now I can do that with this or with just the floor plan. So I can just bring out the floor plan. Since with this I'm already seeing where the parapet will go. Remember from this drawing, remember that this parapet and this one, this and this are of different heights. Remember, don't forget. So when we get here now, I'll use like my line command. Start from any point I deem fit. Remember to hold your shift to avoid any mistake. Now I come here. If you check, this particular place and this has the same parapet height and this is different. So I just go straight into here. I come here, then I join here. Now I have this. Now this is the my first parapet line. That's the first level. Now the other level is now this one, which should go from here to here to here to here. I get it now. Now I will just name this fascia 1. Can just name this fascia 1. Now I will name this one fascia 2. Fascia 2. Remember, as a beginner, be naming everything you have on your screen so that you don't get confused at the end of the day. Now that I have fascia 1 and fascia 2, what next do I do? I select any one I want to work on first. Remember, as you're working on this software, at intervals you save. File, save. At intervals you save. Don't just relax, because if this system turns off now, you will lose everything. So now I'll select the first fascia. I want to sweep it now, and just go to top view. Now that I've selected it, remember, put on your facial profile. This is my facial profile. Where is it? Facial profile. I'll need to put it on now. This is it. Now I've selected this, my first fascia. Then I go to modify. Remember to modify. Then go to modifier list. Drop down that menu there. Now go to sweep. You can just, like I said, for easier location, press S, the initial letter of the command you're looking for. I'm looking for sweep, so I press S and I come down. This is sweep. If I get to sweep, I click on it. Now that I've clicked on sweep, what I'm supposed to do next now is go to custom under selection type. Now under selection type, go to custom, select custom. Now click on pick. Now go to your screen and select your facial profile, the one you created already. Just click on it. If you click on it, now the facial profile has entered here. Now the next setting you do here is go to orbit this way, so you see if it's exactly the way you want it or if you need correction. You can go to front view and check. Now if you see it is the way you want it. If you do it and it's not the way you want it, once you have done what I just said, go to sweep parameters. When you get to sweep parameters, check this mirror. Just if example you created this and it's like this, then come to sweep parameters and then click this or this. Within these two, it will now give you what you want if it didn't give you what you wanted from the beginning. Now that I have this, now don't unselect, just leave it this way. Then go to top view. I want to check now. If I get to top view, to avoid, because normally I can easily convert this, because this is actually in a square form, I can easily convert it to poly and then move it to meet the edge. Let me show what I mean. Go to wireframe. If you get to wireframe now, let's just remove it. If you go to wireframe now, select the plan. If you look, you see where our parapet should start. This is where our parapet should start, here at this point. But instead of here, it started from here. This is the parapet. It started from here. So we want this point to go back to this point where it is supposed to be. Now, because this particular parapet, this particular fascia now is in square form, I can just convert this to editable poly and then use vertex to move it out, move it back to where it should be. Let me show you. I can just click on this, right click anywhere on the screen and convert to editor. Remember, before you do anything, let's now, this is the sweep command. We have to right click here, like I normally tell you, then collapse it, then right click again, collapse it. Now this is now an editable poly, and at this point I can select it, then go to modify, go to selection, and under vertex I can now use vertex. I can use vertex to adjust it to the point where we need them, like I'm doing now. I can use vertex to move it at the point where we need them. You see, I can use vertex to move it at the point where I need them all around till I achieve what I want to achieve. Now if you see, the parapet is now where it should be. If you go back to wireframe, you see, click on this to select, you see, this is the plan. If you check now, the plan started from here. This is the wall, and the parapet started exactly from the wall. Now it is good. Now the other thing you can do, which is easier than this, let me undo. Let's go back to where we were before. Let's go back to sweep command. Remember, Ctrl Z is undo, Ctrl Z is undo, Ctrl Y is redo. Now we are back to sweep command, and you see, this is the plan. This is the plan now. This is supposed to be here, but it is here. So the fastest way to achieve this, so that in case your wall is not just this round like in a square form, you will easily do what you want instead of stressing yourself. The easiest thing to do is, first we want to measure the distance between here and here, which is the accurate place it is supposed to be. To do that, we'll just use rectangle. Remember, I told you there's no measurement tool in this 3ds Max, so you use rectangle to measure. Now we'll click and hold on this point, then drag to this point, which is the point where we want this thing to be. You get? Let me redo. You click from the point, we want this point to move to this point, so we want to get the distance. Now that we have created this rectangle, I'll go to modify, so I'll see the measurement. So if you see, this is 291.5.35. I can just copy it. I can just click, select only the letters, the number, sorry, don't select the units. I can just select this and I control C, and I've copied this thing. Now what do? I click again, I click on this fascia, then I go back to sweep parameters. Now go to X offset, because if you see this movement, this needs to move on X axis. We'll go to X, we paste what we just copied. So we'll do two things now. If we'll use this number and it's going instead of going out, then we'll put a minus sign in front and it will go back. Now that I've clicked here, I just click here and see what happens. And this thing went back. It went back to where it's supposed to be. Now, assuming you put this and instead of going back, it goes front. I want it to go front. Just put a negative sign in front of this and it will go in. Are you getting? So it's either it's negative or it's positive. That will give you what you want. So you see, this way, this has gone where it should be. Let me go to default now. Here too has gone where it should be. Here too has gone where it should be. Here too has gone where it should be. You see, it's easier to achieve this way than to do the other thing I said. But whichever you deem fit, but this is better. So that in case you have a round wall and there's parapet on the round wall, once you do this, you will achieve what you want around the wall. But if you want to use the first method I used, then it's not possible. It will be very difficult for you. Now you have done this. Remember, we only use this to measure something, so we'll delete it. We don't need it again here to avoid confusion. Now we have this parapet. Now the next thing to do is to remember we have Facia 2. That is this. We have Facia 2. So we'll select it and repeat the same thing. Remember, sorry, when you're done with this, convert it to editable poly. You go back here, you right click on this, collapse, right click again, editable poly. This will change to editable poly. It will enable you edit it and do whatever you want to do with it at the end of the day. Now, what is the next thing to do? The next thing to do is to repeat the same thing to this Facia 2. This is Facia 2, remember. So we have selected Facia 2, then you go to modify, go to modifier list, and then look for sweep. Click S and look for sweep. This is sweep. Then once you have gotten to sweep, remember, go to section type, click on use custom section, then you go and then pick the section you created for this. Once you click it, this is here. Then you need to confirm, use orbit and see if this is the right way you want it. By checking it is the right way we want it. This is the way we want it. If it's not the way you want it, remember, you go to sweep parameters and then you work with mirror on XD or this. Before you do these two things, you get it the way you want it. And then the beauty of the app is that we have entered this parameter and it is here. Are you getting? So it will work throughout this particular design we are doing now. If we go to another design, we will still work on what we want to work on, what we are supposed to work on. And if you put this number here, when you get to another design and you want to draw your parapet, please go back to this place and change this thing back to 0, because it will capture this number and this number will be here so that you don't get confused. Change this to 0 before you measure what you want to move and then come back and input it, please. Now we have done this, we'll come here, we'll collapse this, make it editable poly. Now we have this and this. What do we do again? We unhide everything. Now move them in position. You can use the front command, you can use the front view. Then I select this. Remember, this guy comes to this point, this guy comes to this point, and then this guy jumps one level up, this guy comes to this point. Now I use orbit and see what I have achieved. Now this is what I have, and that is what you are seeing here and here. So now the next thing to do is for you, if you want me, I normally like to apply my materials to them so that I know exactly what I'm doing. So this is this. This is this. Remember, after I apply my command, I normally like to make this black too, so I can easily see my lines. Remember, if you want to stop seeing this line for any reason, you want to do something and you don't want to see these lines, just go here and off the edge faces. If for any reason, then you put it back on edge faces, it's on back. Now this is it for this video. So in the part 4 of this video, I will now teach you how you put your roof on this building. Now it's after you put your roof, then you start putting your windows and then your doors. Remember, subscribe and turn on your notification button so that you get notified once we post these videos here.